Fans, you always turn up, and you make the game what it is. So we think you deserve a better betting experience. Every time you bet with Fanatic Sportsbook, win or lose, you get up to 5% of your wager back in fan cash. Spend it on jerseys, fan gear, bonus bets, and more. And for a limited time, bet and get up to $1,000 in bonus bets over 10 days. Welcome to the most rewarding sportsbook.
This may be a life changer.
The best of the best is a pretty damn big deal.
All walks of life abound in this one game. It's just amazing.
It's special.
It's a different level of excitement. It's a different level of adrenaline.
This is the show.
It's surreal. It's wonderful. It's the mecca for tournaments.
And good afternoon, racing fans. Welcome to Hawthorne Racecourse for a Saturday afternoon of thoroughbred action. Jim Miller and Emily Gullikson up here in our mezzanine level studio. Emily, it is beautiful out today. You were doing everything you could all week to ward off the rain, and you've gotten us through today. So
just through
nice
today.
job.
We're one more day. Hopefully it can hold out, but it's not looking promising. I keep checking the weather every couple of hours. It seems like it's getting a little bit better in terms of, the projected thunderstorms, but one thing I have learned about living here is things can change pretty dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
It'll say, I think there was the one day last year, and I think that was even on NASCAR day when it was like, oh, the rain will end by 9, and then it just rained all day long, and then so.
We had flooding, we had
everything.
everything.
We had flooding, we had everything. So maybe tomorrow will be that day where we'll call for rain, and then we'll just be like, when's it coming? And then we'll stay dry. Tomorrow's card's awesome. Today's card is as well.
Yeah, two very good cards. It is good to be on the turf course today. After training today, they got out there and they rolled the turf course as well, so it is listed as good today. Like you said, let's just push that rain off at least till the end of the card tomorrow. It kind of split. Some missed us to the north, some missed us to the south. We had just a little bit of overnight rain, but it really wasn't bad. But you're right. It's a really good card today. It's going to be a busy day for us. You're going to be handling the reins for all of the pre-race analysis today. I'm going to go up and spew words out of my mouth, hopefully getting the horses right as they're running through the stretch today. But
well, you should be good. You're second off the layoff because you practiced last week.
I am. I'm trying.
I'm coming in fresh, first off the layoff. So if I screw up, that's my excuse.
You're going to be just fine. I hope I can get one field in my head and the other field out of it and then keep going. Peter Glassie's getting a well-deserved weekend off. He's at a family wedding this weekend, and I'm happy he went because he's called almost 70,000 races on his career. I can only imagine the amount of things he's missed throughout the course of his horse racing career, so I'm happy he went to that too. Every once in a while, you got to prioritize a little bit.
Yeah, and it's being in this industry, you have to I mean, we have it too. Like things that you're just like you just don't want to give up to because you're like, we've got such a good card on Saturday. I don't want to miss that, and things like that. Like the one day that I wasn't here, I was like just at home like pouting, like why am I not there? Why did my car have to do this on this day? All that stuff. But because you love what you do. But then it's also nice too to remember that. Yeah, you can get away, and we'll handle it up here.
Yeah, we got him covered today, so we'll make sure that we do as good of a job as possible because there's no replacing Peter by any means, but we'll do the best we can. It is gorgeous outside. Again, fast track, good on the turf. Get out on the apron today. Check out the horses if you're out here at Hawthorne, but let's work our way through the card. It's in the opener, $7,500 claimers in the first. They go 3/4 of a mile. Take out the one, Makomat. That one's back in on tomorrow's card. Leaves you with a field of 6 to line up in the opener, 1 to 5. On the speedy Rivs on a roll to kick things off today. That's who we have to start out with, but I think this is actually a pretty competitive bunch.
Yeah, absolutely, and we have those free optics plots. So if you're checking that out and you're looking at the plot and you're looking at the board, you're saying, really, 1 to 5? I mean, Rivs on a roll is certainly capable, but it's looking to have company up front. Lucky Shot's got early speed and is on their inside, and same thing with Breaking News. And I thought that actually would set up perfectly for Makamat, but you can't win if you're not in the race. So maybe it does come down to those 3. I would have a hard time taking 1 to 5 in this scenario. I'd give Lucky Shot the upgrade of those 3 just based on what I'm seeing on the board right now. But that could even set up a scenario for Time Heist, who's getting overlooked right now at 13 to 1. Probably see that come down a little bit closer to post time. And even number 7, Mon-Ami Fuzzy. If they do kind of, bunch up front, you can take a shot with a 32 to 1.
And the thing about Time Heist, he's been very good here at Hawthorne. He's been solid on the year. He might get the right pace set up. And he's going a little bit farther. He's going that extra 16th of a mile. He will come running late. So if it is a contested pace up front and they do come back, maybe he's a horse that gets into the mix. Rivs on a Roll I gave the nod to only because he really hung in there well in that last out. He did battle all the way to the wire and was pushed every step of the way. He is going to be pushed again today. We'll see if he can get there in time. David Cohen rides for Larry Ravelli. But I will go to Rivs on a Roll, but at 1 to 5, it's very hard. You can't play that one straight. You would have to at least find a way.
Try to get a little creative, and if you're willing to take a shot, willing to be a little bit of a gambler, then we might find some separation in the opening race.
Right, and even if you like back wheeling in an exacta or something like that and get a price on top, find some ways to work things around there, but definitely still potential to make some money there in the opener. Race 2 today is the first of 3 on the grass. We go 5.5 furlongs on the good turf course. Illinois bred allowance runners in this spot. It's an intriguing field because you kind of have a mix. There's some maidens in there. There's some winners in there. Then there's 2 horses that are really good in this spot. We take out the 8 Dastardly Deeds. Kind of comes down to Joe the Tailor and Tahoe Run in here. Maybe Cyclone Attack a little bit, but those first 2 probably going to take so much action in this race.
Yeah, and based on what I'm seeing and just kind of looking ahead in the doubles, those seem to be the players taking money. And number 4, Joe the Tailor, number 6, Tahoe Run. Of those 2, trying to split the pair. Give the edge to Joe the Tailor. Has the edge in terms of recency coming into this race second off, but they're pretty close. And then the value being Cyclone Attack, number 9, who has some form as well, has some early speed. And I'm also seeing number 2, AP Blazing Green, taking a little bit of money as well. So maybe keep that one on the radar.
Well, and the thing that's intriguing is the top 2 choices in there, neither of those horses are really turf horses. I mean, Joe the Tailor's never run on the grass. Tahoe Run has run only once on the grass. So it's kind of one of those things where you have to see how they're going to take to the turf course. AP Blazing Green has a little bit of experience on there. So does Cyclone Attack. Cyclone Attack has a win on the turf too. And Vance Childers always just seems to pop at a price on the turf. Even if it's not winning. He had a 99 to 1 shot run third last week.
I was just watching that in the replay. It was an 8 horse, right? Gabriella Attack. Yeah. And was like, whoa, $33 to show right there.
Right.
Like
so
that.
he just, and he I know Vance likes those turf sprints. He always has horses spotted well. And the Forest Attack horses have kind of taken off on the turf too. So we'll see what happens there. I did go to Tahoe Run. I just think the horse is the classiest of the bunch. But again, if it's too short of a price, you might want to look and find a little bit more value there in race number 2. Race number 3 today, starter optional company in here. They go 3/4 of a mile. It's a field of 8 to line up in a race number 3. Again, Larry Ravelli has a horse that's going to take some action in here, and a Madeline Bell on the outside. Stand by you for Wayne Catalano, another one that's in the mix. Catalano's approaching 3,000 career training victories too. You kind of, again, start with those 2 and then work from there.
Yeah, Madeline Bell could have a pace advantage in this race, but, she was formerly trained by Catalano, and now Catalano has a 6 Stand By You, and I just think that one makes a lot of sense. Finding the class relief, coming out of a wide trip at Keeneland, those are really competitive races, and this just should be the right level. Maybe I will show a little bit more tactile speed as well, just with those changes all around. I gave her the edge of the 2, but I think both those 2 are tough in here, and then Style can always come running late. And Style's in form right now, starting to get back around. Yeah,
claimed out of that last out into the Arnett barn that it was a horse that ran a really game race, because it looked like Ghost Storm and Girl might have been home free in that spot. And Style just kept chugging along, and was able to run there in time. And that was a race that didn't have a ton of pace either. So you might get a little bit more pace set up for Style. And that horse, I would have to expect, will be a pretty decent price in the 3rd too.
Agreed. 4th
race today, we go 5.5 furlongs, $5,000 claimers. Scratch the 4, that is Gabriella Attack. It leaves you with a field of 7 to line up in this spot. Danny Simonovich is looking for his first victory. He could have it with Top Lookin' here. That's a horse that I gave consideration to. You have Heart of Hanish on the outside with Hip Hop Emmy. But I think because of Heart of Hanish being in the spot, maybe a horse like Top Look sneaks off at just a little bit better price today.
Yeah, let's hope. Well, we did see the Simonovich money maybe last time. Might come around again. I'm on the same way. I think Top Look, this is the spot. Looking for that first career win. The horse has been running well. Fits on par, has the right running style, has the right jockey, and Alexis Centeno is riding lights out. So, yeah, you and I line up in here with Top Look, and I know the Simonoviches will be watching from, as they tweeted out, Lone Star Park.
I was going to say, they're checking in from Texas today, so see how things unfold for them, but best of luck to them. Yeah, this was the horse claimed for $8,000 back in December at Gulfstream. They ran 5th for 25, then they dropped back in for 75, ran a good second. If they were to run today, win, and get claimed, they're still going to be ahead in the end. So see what Top Look shows us, but I think the horse is well spotted in this race, and I think has a big shot there in race number 4. 5th race on the card, back to the grass, mile and a 16th on the good turf course, $20,000 maidens. Pretty big scratcher. I thought the 3 Io Fedro was going to have a big shot on debut. maybe opens things up a little bit more for some horses on the outside. You have Righteous Freedom, 2 from the Ravelli barn, Giano and Cupid's War, who I think both could be in the mix here. It's just going to be a matter, again, of kind of who takes to the turf.
Yeah, I had, I did the show this week. I said, let me take over. And then Howard's like, put the pick four together. And I was like, I can't do it. Because it starts out with this leg, and you have those unknowns, right? Again, I Fedro, it's like, people in the chat were like, oh, Block is for this and that. But it's always different categories, right? When you have different age, different conditions, different circuit, it's really hard, especially just getting into a small sample size. So those 2 first-time starters, same thing. You could upgrade Cupid's War. You just don't know, but we're going to get more information come post time. We'll be able to see what the odds are. We'll be able to see Cupid's War in the paddock, get an idea from a visual standpoint. Keeping their composure, having to go 2 turns on the turf first out. But I upgraded Giano in here, making the changes. They're going to drop in for the claiming tag, move to the turf, and there's some scratches in this horse's running lines where they've tried to enter for a tag, tried to enter on the turf. Didn't come together. Today it's going to come together at the right time and place, and I just think it's the right horse of the horses that have run. The
thing that's going to be intriguing is just kind of what the jockey moves were in this race, because Mojica had ridden Giano in the last couple. He's on the Roussel runner. David Cohen gets the first timer instead of the experienced Ravelli horse, and then Carlos Ulloa gets aboard the Ravelli runner. So we'll just kind of see how things unfold. Maybe changes the prices a little bit in this race too, and that's the one thing that could be key. Yeah, because that was in the chat and in the conversation, that was it. Like, why is this rider on? It seems like the horse, And it's like, I don't know, maybe he's working him in the morning. Maybe Ravelli's throwing him a bone, saying, here's a live mount, get some momentum. Like, you never know. So, and you're right, it probably does change the price because people will say, shift to those other riders. Righteous Freedom makes sense. Has recorded some of the higher figures, takes the class drop. Another logical type in here. Yeah, they're all in very capable hands in the end. So I will be curious to see kind of just how everybody plays that race and how they play the first timer from the Ravelli barn as well. Race 6 today goes 1 mile and 70 yards. It's allowance runners in this spot. It's a field of 8 to line up in race number 6. Blessed Anna's the horse that I laid as the favorite here at 9-5, just coming in off a nearly 4-length victory in that last out. Izzy's Monster was the horse who ran second to Blessed Anna, who was the 7-5 favorite in that race. But there is some price potential in here, and I saw the horse you put on top. I picked third, Julianne, in this spot. This one from the barn of Steve Manley. The form's been solid. It's just a matter of if they can handle that slight step up in class, and I think it's only slight in here today. It really is, and I'm glad you said the name because there was another one. I was like, Julian, we're going to go with. That's what we're going with, and you're the announcer, so it's official. We're going with Julian. It's going to be that today, I'll tell you that. It's Julian. Stretching out for the first time, right? So you have a little bit of an unknown, but they did try to enter once around 2 turns last season. Wasn't able to draw in, actually entered here a couple times last season. So I think there's been intent, and going back to Julian's debut, I thought that was really impressive at FanDuel and just kind of caught the eye of this is a horse that has some ability, then just kind of ran back on short rest, just couldn't quite get the timing and the trips together. Now is coming in third off, has the fitness, has the conditioning, and hasn't even run back to a top figure from last year. And those figures as a sophomore aren't far off some of the more experience of the Blessed Annas, of the Callie Sue. And so she is sitting on a top effort in here. I think she can pull off the upset, and that's the way I'm going to lean. At this point in time, obviously we'll have a little bit more information, but I give her a big look in here. Yeah, I think you'll get a decent price only because there are the unknowns running down a FanDuel, sprinting, just those questions there. But here's the thing. The works have been solid. They've been consistent. The races have been solid and consistent. Steve Manley's not coming up here and shipping up here for no reason. And here's the thing about it, too. This is an Illinois bred facing open company. So he's running for an Illinois Owners Award as well, a bonus in the purse. So there's intent. And intent is kind of the key. And that's something that you definitely have to look to. So we'll see what Julianne shows us. But I picked that horse third in that spot. I did go to Blessed Anna on top off that last effort and just for how good the Arnett barn has been. But again, value-wise, Julianne, a horse that definitely, I think, merits a big, big look there in race number 6. In the 7th, back to the turf, allowance runners on the grass here. They go 1 mile on the good turf course. Take out the 8 Boone's Pat, take out the 12 Jupiter Mission, and the main track onlys. It leaves you with a field of 10 to line up in this spot. You have the 10 Woodcock Flight in here, and you have Battle Scars, two horses that are both accomplished on the turf, both could be very tough. I guess the question for Woodcock Flight is you're coming in off a much tougher race at Churchill in that last out. I think this thing might be in a spot where they're looking for a little bit of a confidence builder too.
Absolutely, and the horses run faster numbers, just hasn't been the right trip and been in those tougher races out in Kentucky, and even the race at Oaklawn Park, I thought that was a decent race. So finding the class relief, and this is not a barn that ships in often, so I think that also goes to what you were saying earlier in terms of intent. I just drove back from Churchill. It's not like it's right up the street. It's a little bit of a drive. So you're making the trip. You're looking for something, and a little bit of cut in the grass didn't bother the horse, and they're in form right now. And and then you mentioned Battle Scars. I'd give them the edge over, say, Magnifique, coming in from the Fairgrounds meet. It was just running in a little bit tougher of the two. The other one I gave a look to is Dapper Dude, and I gave Dapper Dude a look last weekend on the turf, and that was a claiming event, but I think they were looking for the turf. And again, another one that, like, on their best day is not far off, class-wise, is going to have to prove themselves, but I think running in here as could also suggest intent. We have a horse that's live, that's ready to run, and can put forward a good effort and likely to get a price because of the rider change.
And running style-wise, there's going to be enough pace to chase. You're going to get the save ground the whole way around. Should come running at him late, and I think that's going to be the key for a horse like Dapper Dude and the two favorites, because Battle Scars and Woodcock Flight, both horses that are just going to settle, try to pick off horses late. You mentioned that just the turf having a little bit of cut to it. It's important for a horse like Woodcock Flight, being an Irish bred. It's been almost a whole career of turf courses that have had a little bit of give to them. So that's really not a concern for this horse. This is a horse that's run 11 of the 12 starts on a turf that has been less than firm, and it could benefit this runner today. So we'll see how things unfold. David Cohen picks up the call on Woodcock Flight there in the 7th. In the finale today, high five, a wager in the last 62.50, a maidens in the spot. You get a field of 10 to close things out. Rachel Slavinsky is on the 1. That is Kaiser in the last. This was a tough race if you choose to try to defeat the favorite. And the question is, what do you do with a horse like Skymaster in there? Claimed out of its debut for 30. Then you ran for 62.50, and the debut wasn't a bad race by any means. And now you're to the bottom right off the bat here. That is the one thing that scares me a little bit. Yeah, I think these are the horses that, as handicappers, that no matter how many times you see them, you still just scratch your head and you're like, what am I going to do here? Because the horse ran good for 30, but at that point in time, Steve Asmussen has those horses ready to run their best. Right. So that is their best effort, right? And then they're claimed and they step up, and you're like, okay, you get a pass because first off a claim, the meet's winding down, you got to run what's available. But then you come and drop to the bottom, and that's where you start getting a little bit concerned because there's just not a lot of confidence. Can certainly win, but are probably looking to move on from the horse. So those two variables in there, I went the same direction with you. I'm hoping My Tennis Shoes just finds the right group, time and place. The races at the fairgrounds sprinting, those races fit right on par. And the races here aren't bad around 2 turns either. I would, if this race is 2 turns, I'd like him right back. I don't think that's been the issue. It's just he's been finding those big class droppers. Yeah. And the only class dropper in here is Skymaster. And there's some question marks there. So, I'm going to give My Tennis Shoes a top billing in there, but Skymaster can certainly win. I think his presence in here could also make things tougher and send him down the road. Yes. Because if those two hook up, that could benefit My Tennis Shoes, but might cancel each other out, or they run one too, and one of those things. But pace complexion should set it up for a closer because Skymaster is most likely going. Send him down the road is definitely going. I think Grand Festival should be forwardly placed as well. My Tennis Shoes just kind of wait, and then run on late. Alexis Centeno picks up the call today. You're right. The sprints, that was the style. Yeah. Just sit back and run on in the lane, and the horses run well in 2 starts at this distance, hitting the board and bull. So you're going to get a better price. I expect somebody will drop in for Skymaster in here and take the shot at this racehorse, and we'll see what happens with it. And the horse could win by 10. But if it does, that's fine. You have to take a stand, and we're both going to take a stand again. So I like when we're on the same horse because when that happens, they usually run well, and they run well at a decent price. So we're on a couple today, so let's keep the momentum going. Yep. So hopefully things work out for us. But that's how we see the 8 races today. Again, changing things up a little bit for the pre-race show is I'm going to go up a couple of stories to the announcer's booth. We're going to reconfigure things a little bit down here and get ready for Emily to take over for the race day analysis. But Emily, it's going to be a fun day, sunny day, fast track, good turf. you're going to do wonderfully in your first off here.
Well, you two as well. We'll be following you on the GoPro, right? You're
Yes.
have the
I'm
GoPro
strapping.
hooked up?
I'm
Okay.
strapping a GoPro to my head today. Just
View from
so
the-
everybody can have the view. I mean, you
Yes,
want to have the
exactly.
view. I mean, and it's weird because in the announcer's booth there's a post right even with the half-mile pole. So it's going to be like I'm going to look like a boxer up there. So if you ever have you ever played the Nintendo Wii? There's Wii boxing on there. It's hilarious because all it is like a bobblehead going back and forth trying to avoid things. So maybe that's how things will go. By the way, birthday wishes today. Today is Mike Strohmeyer's birthday, our tote guy. So it's awesome to send things out. So if you see Big Mike walking around today, he's the guy that handles like all the wagering machines, all that kind of stuff. He's an awesome dude. He's the jolliest guy out there, happy as can be. Happy birthday to Mike today, and he may even bring somebody like a piece of cake or something. I heard there's a big cake for him downstairs too. Maybe you can go down and get some.
Maybe. Well, I'm not holding the duties up here, and it always seems like it's Mike's birthday.
You know
I
what?
feel like
He brings so much joy to everybody.
Yes.
He's kind of like Santa.
Right.
He brings joy to everybody, and we want to send him a little bit of love back. So happy birthday to you, Mike. 23 minutes to post for today's opener. I'm going to get my walking shoes on and head back upstairs, and Emily will come back with you shortly to talk about the first. Good luck.
Welcome back. We're starting off with race 1, a $7,500 non-winners of 4 claiming event for the 3-year-old and up runners sprinting 6 furlongs. We're getting a look at the board right now and a current heavy favorite 1-2 on number 6. Rivs on a Roll. We'll get a look at the horses down in the paddock as we're going through the analysis, but starting with that heavy favorite, number 6, Rivs on a Roll, one of a few in here that's likely to be on or near the lead and getting a lot of attention for the connections, and certainly a capable runner. Has that early speed and coming back from the most recent start that was just 3 weeks ago, stumbling at the start and then rushed up, stayed on as the best this speed to finish second. Rivs on a Roll, certainly capable in here. They're going to take that drop to run in for the claiming tag once again. The most recent win was at Turfway Park for the $5,000 claiming tag. The battle will really come down to the other horses that could make it tough as far as pace pressure early on, because Rivs on a Roll has done his better running on or near the lead, and best when he's able to establish a softer pace up front, and that just might not be the case given the complexion of this field. Now, as an individual, certainly capable, but we're seeing a short number right now, just drifted up to 3-5, but likely to remain as the heavy favorite, as he has been favored since that first click. Let's get a look at some of the other runners in this field while Rivs on a Roll still sits at 3-5. Let's shift over to the current second choice in number 3, Breaking News, who is currently matching that post position number at 3-1. A heavy second choice, another runner that does their better running on or near the lead and coming into this race off 2 straight wins. The race 2 back, going back to April 27th, they were able to sit just off the pace and then make that first run. A pretty favorable trip, and then coming back 15 days later on May 12th, stayed on as the best this speed with that inside position. Centeno has been aboard for all the races this season and has a good feel for this horse as they're coming into form right now. A trip could be key. They might have to force themselves into the race, especially to keep Rivs on a Roll honest. And then how that will play in terms of an outcome could remain to be seen. If these two hook up early, could set up for a runner from off the pace. So Breaking News is going to play a big role in today's race, and how that appears in the outcome could be up to Alexis Centeno, their regular rider. Now, one of the other runners that's likely to be on or near the lead to keep the pace honest is number 5, Lucky Shot. We'll get a look at Lucky Shot, who's currently sitting at 8-1. So your third choice right now. And Lucky Shot is another runner that has early speed, but doesn't have to be a need the lead type. He's drawn between those 2 runners, is coming into this race with form in the third start off the layoff, and looks to be intent with this runner, making that class drop, coming in from the races where they're running at that higher $13,500 claiming tag, going back to the return race off the layoff on March 30th, made a wide move in that second place finish, and then came back on April 27th where they dueled that day. And again, Lucky Shot is one that has been able to run on or near the lead, but should have plenty of fitness as they were up close to that honest pace. Now, Centeno does stick with Breaking News, but Lucky Shot is in good hands. Mojica has been aboard in the past, will take over today, and that could be a live sign. Mojica did win going back to May 14th of last year, so almost 1 year to the date with the win, and then a couple other times finished second. With the scratch of Makaman in this race, I upgraded Lucky Shot. I think he has a shot in this race and should offer value, and again, currently sitting at that third choice, 7-1 seems fair odds for today's race. Now we'll look at a few others before they head out. With number 4, Time Heist. Time Heist is taking a slight step up in class, if not closer to a lateral move, but a horse that is in form right now. He can often be his own worst enemy, breaking a little bit slow, then making that late run. But given the complexion of this race and talking about the early speed, potential contention with Breaking News and Rivs on a Roll, as well as Lucky Shot, keeping that pace honest, that's a scenario that benefits Time Heist, looking to come running with that late kick. A horse that already has 2 wins this season and a third in his most recent start that was in starter allowance company just 3 weeks ago over today's course, and 5.5 furlong distance, getting that extra half furlong today. Now, in terms of running style, a similar run style to number 7, Mon Ami Fuzzy, who is worth a mention currently sitting the longest shot on the board right now at 26-1. Mon Ami Fuzzy will make their 4th start of the season, going to wheel right back in 2 weeks, but a horse that's shown some progressive form this season, coming back from a closing 2nd place finish last out. In terms of race par, today's par is a little bit higher, but Mon Ami Fuzzy has run under similar conditions in the past, some higher race pars, and a horse that's just in form, and like Time Heist, one that could benefit from that late run, from that early contention to make his late run. Now, it's worth mentioning all the horses in this field, since there's only one more, number 2, First Mazamoon. And First Mazamoon will also come into this race finding a little bit of class relief from the May 12th race, where they certainly present upside. It wasn't the most ideal ride, was wide before losing ground in that race around 2 turns and cutting back to a sprint. And the sprint race under similar $7,500 conditions back on April 13th was a pretty competitive race. They were covered up, they took kickback, ended up making a move, slightly flow aided, but a number that would be competitive with many in this field, and has back numbers that certainly fit on par and competitive races at the 6 furlong distance. So I wouldn't be surprised if First Mazamoon runs a competitive race, currently sitting at 11-1. With the sun out, slight wind, the horses are going to head at about 7 minutes to post, so we're still getting a look at them walking around, but good luck in race 1.
Horses are on the track here for the Saturday opener at Hawthorne. Main track is listed as fast. Turf course good today for the 8-race Hawthorne card. In the opener, we offer win, play, show, exacta, trifecta, superfecta, double, pick 3, 50-cent pick 5, $1 place, pick 8 wagering. We scratch the 1, Makwamat. Here's the field for the first. The 2-horse is First Mazamoon. This one is trained by Carlos Ramirez, ridden today by Carlos Ulloa. 3 is Breaking News. Breaking News, trained by Hugo Rodriguez. The jockey today is Alexis Centeno. 4-horse is Time Heist. Time Heist is trained by Jose Rodriguez. Emmanuel Giles in the saddle. 5 is Lucky Shot. Lucky Shot, trained by D. Polis. Orlando Mojica aboard. 6 is Rivs on a Roll. This one trained by Larry Ravelli. The jockey is David Cohen. And the 7 is Mon Ami Fuzzy. This one trained by David Reed. Luis Colon, the rider. Here's your field of 6 for the opener. 5 minutes to post. 2 minutes. One minute. 1 minute to post. Fields approaching the gate. And the field is at the gate for the Saturday opener. First to load will be First Masamoon, along with a Lucky Shot. Those two walk in. Next up are Breaking News and your favorite Rivs on a Roll. And the last two will be Time Heist and Mon Ami Fuzzy. Time Heist walks in. Mon Ami Fuzzy last to load. And they're all in for the opener. And they're off in the first as they all get away in good order. Lucky Shot maybe a step slow out of the gate, but Rivs on a roll in between horses takes the lead. And Mon Ami Fuzzy up on the outside. Breaking News down along the inside. And now Lucky Shot has moved up into contention in fourth. Break of about 2 back. Time Heist in fifth. And first Masamoon at the back of the pack. About 8 lengths from front to back as they head down the backside, but it is Rivs on a roll on top. Rivs on a roll up by a length over Mon Ami Fuzzy in second. Down along the inside in third is Breaking News. That one shuffled back a little bit as Lucky Shot moves up along the outside. Then it's Time Heist on the rail and first Masamoon at the back of the pack. But as they roll through the turn, it is still Rivs on a roll on top. Rivs on a roll has been pressured the entire way by Mon Ami Fuzzy in second. Breaking News down along the inside in third. Lucky Shot on the outside there in fourth. Break of about 3 back to Time Heist in fifth and first Masamoon at the back of the pack. But as they turn into the lane, it is Rivs on a roll your leader. Rivs on a roll up by about a head now over Breaking News, who comes up alongside that one in second. Break of about 3 back to Mon Ami Fuzzy. Time Heist moving along the inside there, but as they move late in the lane, it is a Breaking News that is taken over. Rivs on a roll trying to battle back along the inside, but Breaking News is the winner of the opener. Rivs on a roll second. First Masamoon closed up along the outside for third over Mon Ami Fuzzy. Your unofficial order of finish in the opener, the winner, the 3, Breaking News. Second, the 6, Rivs on a roll. Third was the 2, first Masamoon. Fourth, the 7, Mon Ami Fuzzy. Race 1 is unofficial. As they return back to the winner's circle, we did have a claim in the opener. Claimed the 5, Lucky Shot. Lucky Shot claimed to new owner, Salvino Racing LLC. New trainer, Chris Banks for the 5, Lucky Shot. Turn into the winner's circle. It's your unofficial winner. This is the 3, Breaking News. Race 1's now official. Breaking News owned by Victory Stables of David Rodriguez. Trained by Hugo Rodriguez. Ridden home today by jockey Alexis Centeno. Breaking News and 8-year-old dark bay or brown gelding. Sired by a Mineshaft out of the forestry mare Joel's Last Laugh. Race 1 again is official.